Good morning, ladies and gentlemen, Your Excellencies, Your Highnesses, President Kagame. Thank you for being here today and joining us for what I hope will be a week of productive discussions to address one of the most critical issues of our time. It is humbling and encouraging to see such a diverse global group taking part in Abu Dhabi Sustainability Week and the Future Sustainability Summit. Abu Dhabi has long been an advocate and convener of addressing global challenges, whether on the issue of a warming planet, eradicating deadly diseases ravaging some of the world's most vulnerable countries, or creating safe and secure food and water supplies for the future. But let's be clear about why we are here today. There is no doubt that our planet is facing a crisis caused by dramatic changes in the world climate. There is also no doubt that global action on climate and sustainability are the most critical priorities of our time. More than ever, we need to collectively scrutinize and evolve our approach to address global consumption, production, and investment. As business, government, and academia, and civil society, we need to honestly reflect on what more we can do and what we must be doing to address the omnipresent risk of climate change. The actions we take today will not only define the legacy we leave for the future generations, but the very future of our planet. Ladies and gentlemen, climate change is equally a threat to the United Arab Emirates as everywhere else on the planet. And as a globally engaged and responsible nation, we have to be part of the solution. Our country's father and founder, the late Sheikh Zayed, encouraged us to think and look ahead. So back in 2006, Mubadala established Masdar in Abu Dhabi to be a pioneering renewable energy and sustainability innovator, investor, and developer. At the time, it was seen as a very unusual move for a nation whose economy was predominantly hydrocarbon-based. People wondered why, as an oil and gas fueled economy, would take a bet on investing on renewables when costs back then were uncompetitive compared with other forms of energy. But as a long-term investor, Mubadala could see a trajectory when renewables would become price competitive, and our investment thesis has come to pass. Today, Masdar has projects in more than 25 countries across the globe. It is active in solar power, wind energy, power storage, waste to energy, sustainable energy desalination, and sustainable real estate. As importantly, research centers and facilities at the Masdar Institute and the Khalifa University here in Abu Dhabi continue to lead in innovation in renewable energy and provides the ecosystem for young future energy leaders to learn and thrive. And the future looks bright for expanded renewable investment. Renewable energy sources make up over 25% of the world's energy today. And the International Energy Agency suggests that wind, solar, and hydro are rolling out at their fastest rate in 4 years. The demand for renewable energy could expand by 50% over the next 5 years. Which leads me to the first 2 points I want to make to help frame the discussion. First, global investors and sovereign wealth funds, like Mubadala, can place big bets on clean energy and renewables at competitive rates of return. If we're investing for the long term and building our futures, then deploying our resources and sustainability initiatives is mission critical. There is no shortage of global capital, and the need is very clear. Second, we cannot predict the future clearly, and there will be twists and turns in the road. Like the technology sector, the renewable energy space will have breakthrough innovations, as well as those that will fall short. When we began our journey back in 2006, we envisioned dramatic changes in how people would live. For example, Masdar City was a prototype of how we might live in the future. And the future, like all great efforts of imagination and innovation, turned out to be unpredictable. Some innovation, more sustainable building materials and better management of energy consumption, for example, have become more commonplace. Others, such as dramatic evolutions in the automobile and individualized personal mobility, have yet to reach every global household. But that doesn't mean we should stop our efforts to experiment, innovate, and challenge. Every great human achievement, from putting a man on the moon to finding a cure for cancer and other diseases, has been a linear journey. And with the climate stakes so high, we must give everyone committed to this cause the environment and the freedom to learn, experience setbacks, and eventually succeed. Just as Silicon Valley set out to experiment and innovate in areas of personal and business technology, it is now at the cusp of global mass production of electric vehicles, technology-empowered ride-sharing, and driverless cars. Globally, we need to continue to apply that same mindset in the sustainability challenge. And we are committed here in Abu Dhabi to do just that. The United Arab Emirates knew the global importance of climate action back in 2008, when we held the first Abu Dhabi Sustainability Week. And the global community recognized our leadership in 2009, when Abu Dhabi was proudly voted as home to the International Renewable Energy Association headquarters. Today, we host close to 80% of the installed solar energy capacity in the entire GCC. Last July, Noor Abu Dhabi came online as the world's largest individual solar power plant. It produces 1.17 gigawatts of power, enough to supply the needs of over 90,000 people and reduce their yearly carbon emissions by 1 million metric tons. The output of Noor is the equivalent of taking 200,000 cars off the roads. Masdar, as part of a consortium, is developing the third phase of the Mohammed bin Rashid Solar Park in Dubai. Phase 3 comprises 800 megawatts and is part of what will be the largest single-site solar park in the world, with a plant capacity of 5,000 megawatts by 2030. Here in the UAE, our goal is clear: to build an economy that protects the environment and to ensure an environment that supports a growing economy. In the UAE, over 2/3 of our economy is now comprised of non-petroleum sectors. It is a big transition for us as a nation whose economy was almost entirely hydrocarbon-based at our formation in 1971. The UAE's global progress and foreign policy are built on multilateralism and partnerships, and that extends to climate action. So my message is to consider us your partner and home for the pioneering sustainability work of many of you here today. We have the infrastructure, policy frameworks, and funding to support and foster long-term partnerships between government and business in green market development and commercialization of innovative technologies. We have made it a priority to build our solar and alternative energy technology systems, sustainable water management, and desalination technologies, in addition to water waste management technologies, efficient transport technologies, and much, much more. Ladies and gentlemen, as the demand for clean energy and sustainable products increases, investors, innovators, and private sector firms can realize the benefits of helping build a greener future. The most effective strategies to combat climate change transcends industries and engages all stakeholders, from the energy companies and investors to policy experts and affected communities. We therefore want to foster more significant public-private and cross-sector partnerships to enable collective responses. I am proud of what we have accomplished so far through the creation of Masdar, which has led the conversation on a sustainable future for over a decade. We continue to invest with impact, changing the energy mix for the better and making renewables the first choice of many nations to generate power. We want to use this week to form new partnerships and deepen existing ones as we collectively help shape a sustainable world. We want to attract the brightest and most ambitious minds to use Abu Dhabi as a base to advance transformational thinking to create a brighter future for all of us. Finally, I'd like to thank Dr. Sultan Al-Jaber, Masdar's chairman, and Mohammed Al-Ramahi, Masdar's chief executive. Their leadership and commitment to a sustainable future have enabled Abu Dhabi Sustainability Week to become an influential global catalyst for advancing sustainable development. I wish you all a valuable summit, and thank you for your time.